Definition of constitutional isomer. Constitutional isomer, also called structural isomer, are compounds that have the same molecular formula but different structural formulas. This means they contain the same number and types of atom, but the atoms are connected in different ways. They have K characteristic. First is have the same molecular formula. Next is have different structural formulas. Next, the atom are arranged differently. They may have different physical and chemical properties such boiling point, melting point, and reactivity. They have different IUPAC names because of their different structures. Go. Okay guys, ang constitutional isomers kay mga compounds na same sila og molecular formula pero different ang pag-connect sa ilang atoms. So bisan parehas sila og number sa carbon, hydrogen atoms, lahi ang arrangement sa ilang structure. For example, imagine ninyo nga naamoy same Lego pieces pero lahi ang inyong pag-assemble. Parehas ang pyesa pero lahi ang nahimong shape mao na ang constitutional isomers because lahi ang ilang structure, possible pod nga lahi ang ilang boiling point, melting point ug uban pang properties mao nga importante kayo ang arrangement sa atoms organic chemistry. Same siya og formula C4 og H10, but different ang iyang arrangement sa atoms. Mao na siya ang molecular formula versus structural formula. Molecular formula. A molecular formula show the types and total number of atoms in a molecule. It does not show how the atoms are connected. Structural formula. A structural formula show how the atoms are arranged and connected in a molecule. It helps us identify different isomers. Ang molecular formula kay nagpakita lang pila ka carbon og hydrogen atoms ang naa sa compound pananglitan. Ang C4H10 means adunay upat ka carbon og 10 ka hydrogen of atoms pero wala niya gipakita kung giunsa pag-connect ang mga atoms. Ang structural formula on the other hand nagpakita sa actual arrangement sa atoms. Makita nato kung straight chain ba siya or branch chain. For example, ang butane ug isobutane parehas og molecular formula nga C4H10 pero lahi ilang structural formula mao nga sila gitawag og constitutional isomer. Easy to remember na ang molecular formula number of atoms while ang structural formula kay arrangement of atoms. Why the constitutional isomers occur? Constitutional isomer occurs because carbon atoms can connect in different ways while keeping the same molecular formula. Although the number and types of atoms remain in the same, the connectivity, how the atoms are bonded and different. This creates different compounds with different structures and often different physical and chemical properties. We have main reason. First is carbon can form straight chain, branch chain, or different carbon skeletons. Next, the molecular formula stay the same. Next, the connectivity of atoms changes. Next is different structure result in different names and properties. Now, nganong naa may constitutional isomer? Simple ra kaayo, kay ang carbon atoms pwede man ma-connect in different ways. Bisan same ang number sa carbon ug hydrogen atoms, pwede gihapon lahi ang arrangement ug pag-connect sa ilahang atoms. For example, ang C4H10 pwede siya mahimong straight chain nga butane or branch chain nga isobutane. Parehas ang molecular formula pero lahi ang connectivity sa atoms. Mao nga ang reason why constitutional isomers occur. Ang formula parehas pero ang structure o pag-connect sa atoms lahi. So mahimo usab nga lahi ang ilahang properties sa ilahang IUPAC names. Butane. Butane has the molecular formula C4H10. Has two constitutional isomers. They have the same molecular formula but different structural arrangements. Atong tanawon ang example sa butane. Ang butane adunay molecular formula nga C4H10 ug naa siya duha ka constitutional isomers. Ang una kay N-butane. Ang N stand for normal meaning straight chain. Ang arrangement sa carbon atoms. Ang ikaduha kay isobutane na ang IUPAC name niya kay 2-methyl propane. Diri branch ang arrangement sa carbon atoms. Makita nato nga pareha sila og molecular formula nga C4H10 pero lahi ang pag-connect sa ilahang carbon atoms tungod ana sila gitawag sila nga constitutional isomer. So easy to remember nga ang N-butane straight chain na siya, then ang isobutane 2-methyl propane branch chain na siya. So same formula, different structure, constitutional isomer. Example, pentane. Pentane has the molecular formula C5H12 and has three constitutional isomer. They all have the same molecular formula but they are atoms connected differently. We have K point. All three compounds have the same molecular formula C5H12 but they have different structural arrangement making them constitutional isomers. Next, atong tanaw ng pentane. Ang pentane adunay molecular formula nga C5H12 ug naa siya tulo ka constitutional isomers. Ang una kay N-pentane nga straight chain ang arrangement sa lima ka carbon atoms. Ang ikaduha kay isopentane o 2-methyl butane. Diri adunay usa ka branch sa carbon chain. Ang ikatulo kay neopentane o 2-dimethyl propane. Kini ang pinaka-branch sa tulo ka adunay duha ka methyl groups nga nakakabit sa central carbon. Bisan pareha sila tanan og molecular formula nga C5H12, lahi ang pag-connect sa ilang carbon atoms mao nga gitawag sila nga constitutional isomers. 5 isomer hexane. All 5 compounds have the same molecular formula C6H12 but different arrangement of atoms making them constitutional isomer. Ang hexane adunay molecular formula nga C6H4 og naa siya lima ka constitutional isomers. Ang una kay N-hexane nga straight chain, sunod kay 2-methyl pentane og 3-methyl pentane nga adunay usa ka methyl branch pero lahi ang position. Ang 2,2-dimethyl butane adunay duha ka methyl group sa carbon 2 samtang ang 2,3-dimethyl butane adunay methyl group sa carbon nga 2 og carbon 3. Bisan pareha sila og C6H4 lahi ang arrangement sa carbon atoms na nga constitutional isomers. Longest carbon chain. What is the longest carbon chain? The longest carbon chain is the longest continued chain of carbon atoms in organic compound. How to identify it? Find the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms. If there is more than one longest chain, Choose the one when the most substituent. This chain becomes the parent chain used in naming the compound. Why it is important? Determines the parent name, methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, and of etc. Ensures that correct IUPAC name. Helps identify the position of branches, substituent. 1. Sa pag-name sa organic compounds, kinahanglan una natong pangitaw ng longest carbon chain. Kini mao ang pinakataas nga sunod-sunod nga carbon atoms nga walay putol. Importante ni kay mao ni ang mahimong parent name sa compound pananglitan kung 5 ka carbon ang longest chain, ang parent name niya kay pentane. Kung sayop ang pagpili sa iyang longest chain, mahimong sayop pud ang IUPAC naming. Steps and naming constitutional isomer. Step 1, identify the longest carbon chain. Step 2, number the carbon chain from the end closest to the first substituent. Step 3, identify and name the substituent, methyl, ethyl, propyl, etc. Step 4, write the substituent number and name followed by the parent chain. So, natay rules. Use the lowest possible numbers for substituent. If there are 2 or more identical substituents, use prefix. Di equals 2, tri equal 3, tetra equal 4. For example, 2, 2 dash dimethyl butane. Next is 2, 3 dash dimethyl butane. Una, pangita ang longest carbon chain. Ikaduha, numberan ang carbon chain gikan sa side nga pinakaduol sa branch aron nakuha ang lowest possible number. Ikatulo, identify ang mga substituents sama sa methyl o ethyl. Lastly, isulat ang position number sunod ang substituent name o dayon ang parent chain. For example, kung ang methyl branch naa sa carbon 2, ang longest chain kay butane. Ang name mahimong 2-methyl butane. Physical and chemical properties. Constitutional isomers have the same molecular formula but can have different physical properties because their atoms are arranged differently. Boiling point. Straight chain isomer usually have higher boiling point than branch isomers because they have a larger surface area. Melting point. The melting point depends on how well the molecules pack together. Some branch isomers may have higher or lower melting points. Density. Most constitutional isomers have similar densities, but slight differences may occur due to their molecular structures. Chemical properties. Constitutional isomers generally have similar chemical formulas, but their reactivity can differ because of the different arrangements of atoms. Their structure can affect how they react with other chemicals. Go. Bisan same ang molecular formula sa constitutional isomers, dili parehas ilang physical o chemical properties. Sa boiling point, ang straight chain isomers kasagaran mas taas sa boiling point kaysa sa branch isomers. So sa melting point, depende kung unsa kamaayo ang pagpack sa molecules. Sa density, halos parehas sila pero naay gamay nga kalainan tungod sa ilang structure. Sa chemical properties, pwede usab na magkalahi ang ilang reactivity kay lahi man ang arrangement sa ilang atoms. Importance in agriculture and organic chemistry. Importance in agriculture. Use in the production of pesticide to control insect plant disease. Use in herbicides to manage unwanted weeds and improve crop production. Importance in fuels. Different isomers affect the quality and performance of fuels such as gasoline. Branch isomers generally help improve fuel efficiency in engine performance. Pharmaceutical and industrial application used in making medicines in pharmaceutical products. Important in producing plastics, solvents, synthetic fibers, and other industrial chemicals. Importante ang constitutional isomers sa agriculture o organic chemistry. Sa agriculture, ginagamit sila sa paghimo og pesticide o herbicide aron maprotektahan ang mga tanong batok sa mga pests o weeds. Sa fuels, ang lain-laing isomers makatabang sa pag-improve sa kalidad sa gasolina o performance sa engine. Sa pharmaceutical o industry ginagamit sila sa paghimo og medisina, plastic, solvents o uban pang chemical products. Maungdagan kaayo sila practical application. Properties. Constitutional isomers are important in organic chemistry, agriculture, medicine, fuels, and industry. To summarize, ang constitutional isomers kay mga compounds nga same og molecular formula pero lahi ang structural arrangement ug pag-connect sa ilahang atoms. Tungod kay ang ilahang structure lahi pod ang ilahang IUPAC name ug mahimong lahi ang ilang physical ug chemical properties. Importante kaayo ni sila dili lang sa organic chemistry kundi usab sa agriculture, paggawa sa fuels, medicine ug daghan pang industrial products.